Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Divorce Lawyers podcast brought to you by DivorceLawyers.ca. I'm Deepa Taylor, and today we're going to discuss a topic that's both exciting and serious: key considerations before getting married. Before we dive in, I want to remind you that this podcast is meant for general informational purposes only. It is not legal advice. For legal counsel tailored to your specific situation, be sure to consult a licensed attorney in your area. Now, getting married is one of the most significant steps you'll ever take in your life. It's full of hope, love, and excitement. But behind the joy and celebrations, there are legal, emotional, and financial implications that need to be considered. Today, we'll explore the key things you should think about before you say, "I do," particularly from the perspective of Ontario family law. When we think of marriage, we often romanticize the union. And while marriage is absolutely about love, commitment, and companionship, it is also a legal contract. In Ontario, getting married comes with a number of legal obligations and rights that many couples don't realize until later. So let's start by discussing some of the important legal aspects that you should consider before tying the knot. First, it's essential to understand that marriage isn't just a personal commitment. It's a legally binding contract between two people. Once you sign that marriage certificate, your legal status changes, affecting your property, finances, and even your rights in case of separation. This is why it's crucial to understand what you're committing to, not just emotionally, but legally as well. One of the biggest legal considerations is whether you should have a prenuptial agreement. Some people see prenups as a sign of distrust or a bad omen for a marriage, but that couldn't be further from the truth. A prenup is like an insurance policy. It's there to protect both parties. You can outline how assets and debts will be divided in case of divorce. It also helps clarify expectations on sensitive subjects like spousal support and business interests. Before you get married, it's also important to think about estate planning. Do you both have wills? Who is your power of attorney if something happens to you? When you marry, your spouse often becomes your legal next of kin, and they will have certain rights over your property, your healthcare decisions, and even your children. It's wise to discuss these topics and make sure your documents reflect your wishes. Now that we've touched on some of the legal aspects, let's dive into finances, an area that causes many conflicts in marriages if not handled well. Finances are often the number one reason for disagreements in a marriage, so it's crucial to go into your union with eyes wide open. One of the most important conversations you and your partner should have before getting married is about your financial status. This means you should both be transparent about your debts, assets, and income. Are there student loans, credit card debts, outstanding taxes? It's better to be open about these now rather than have surprises down the road. Understanding each other's financial situations will help you build a stronger foundation. How you and your partner handle debt can make or break a marriage. If one of you is bringing significant debt into the relationship, it's essential to discuss how you will manage it together. Will you tackle it as a team, or will the responsibility fall on one person? Having this conversation up front can help avoid resentment later on. Next, consider how you'll manage your finances as a married couple. Will you combine bank accounts, keep them separate, or maybe do a hybrid of both? This decision can impact how you handle household expenses, savings goals, and long-term financial planning. There is no right or wrong answer here, but you should be on the same page with your partner. It's also important to discuss your shared financial goals. Do you plan to buy a house, save for retirement, have children? Setting up a plan for your financial future together can help you work towards shared dreams and aspirations. It also helps you avoid financial stress, which can be a major strain on any relationship. Now let's take a step back from the legal and financial aspects and focus on the emotional side of marriage. This is equally important because, as much as marriage is a legal contract, it's also a partnership between two people with feelings, needs, and personal histories. Before you get married, make sure you and your partner are able to have open and honest conversations. Can you talk about difficult topics like money, parenting, and career ambitions? If there are things you're avoiding talking about now, it's a red flag. Marriage only amplifies these unresolved issues. You need to be able to talk openly about your concerns and listen to your partner's perspective. Every couple will face challenges, but how you handle conflict can define the success of your marriage. Before you marry, understand your partner's conflict resolution style. Do they avoid confrontation? Are they quick to anger? Or are they good at talking things through calmly? The more you can work on healthy communication before marriage, the better. Your marriage isn't just between the two of you, it also brings together two families. How will your partner's family dynamics affect your relationship? Are there any unresolved family issues that could impact your marriage? Discussing boundaries and expectations with in-laws can prevent future tension. Finally, let's look at a few practical aspects of marriage that are often overlooked. If you plan to have children, how many do you want? How will you raise them? What about discipline and education? These are crucial conversations that can't be left until after the wedding. Having a clear plan for parenting styles and responsibilities will help avoid future conflicts. Do you both have demanding careers? How will you balance work and family life? Will one partner eventually stay home to raise children, or will you both continue working? Career ambitions can sometimes conflict with family plans, so it's important to discuss how you'll handle changes in your professional life as a couple. Lastly, where will you live? Will you rent or buy a home? If you're moving into one person's premarital home, will that person want to keep it in their name? Again, it's important to clarify these points early on to avoid misunderstandings. So, there you have it, key considerations before getting married. I know these topics might not feel very romantic, but they are essential for building a strong foundation for your future together. Taking the time to discuss finances, legal obligations, and family dynamics before marriage can help avoid future pitfalls. If you're preparing to get married or even considering a prenup, I highly recommend speaking with one of our family lawyers by visiting DivorceLawyers.ca. A simple consultation could save you a lot of heartache down the road. Thanks for joining me on this episode of the Divorce Lawyers podcast. Be sure to subscribe for more insights on family and divorce law in Ontario. Until next time.